And based on the medical records that you reviewed from Precise Medical Records and Ms. Kirk's medical records, were those medical records received in were they produced in response to subpoenas directly to the various medical providers?
I believe they all were, yes.
Okay. So it wasn't something that I drafted up or something that Mr. Camp drafted up and sent to you, correct?
To the best of my recollection, all of those documents came with subpoenas.
Okay. And did I hear you correctly when you said it was a nurse practitioner at Precise Medical Clinic that prescribed Carly her medication?
I believe that Ms. Lerber is, in fact, a nurse practitioner.
Okay.
I believe.
Not a psychiatrist.
Not a psychiatrist.
Dr. Clark, does a person always know if they've lost time?
No.
Dr. Clark, can a person know they've lost time if they have no memory of it?
Objection, Your Honor. I think it's outside the scope of cross.
Coral overrule it. It's touched on about her alleged disassociation. I'll allow him to answer the question.
Could you please repeat the question?
Yes. Can a person always know that they've lost time if they have no memory of it?
No. I think some people are aware that something has happened, and some people aren't very aware at all.
Okay. And when you reviewed Rebecca Kirk's records, did you see information in there regarding that Ashley Smiley had also spoken with Ms. Kirk?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And based on your evaluation of Carly, was Carly afraid that her mother would find out that she was having these mental health issues?
Yes.
Okay. Is it reasonable that Carly would not want to disclose that she was having these mental health issues to someone she knew was talking to her mom?
Yes.
Earlier in your testimony, you talked about how Carly was a follower. And if someone has more of a follower personality, are they likely to argue with law enforcement?
Objection, Your Honor. Outside the scope.
Your Honor, he brought it up on cross. Why wouldn't she have argued?
Overrule.
You can answer.
I'm not sure being a follower makes much difference in that regard. I would imagine that for a 14-year-old who's being arrested or picked up by the police, they're not likely to argue. I see Carly as a pleaser. Perhaps that's more germane. I think it's unlikely Carly would have actually argued. That's not something that would be characteristic of her.
And do you recall your testimony earlier today when you were talking about dissociative disorders and acute dissociative reactions to stressful events, how you testified that Carly met most of the risk factors?
Yes, I believe I talked about the factors that would make it seem more likely that it was the real deal as opposed to malingering.
And I believe you testified, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the only factor that Carly didn't really meet was that she didn't seem to have any recollection of it instead of spotty recollection, correct?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
Sustained is deleting.
Okay. And would it be fair to say that if Carly's nightmares of gunshots were somehow her memories of that incident, then that would fit even more perfectly with your diagnosis that the risk factors?
Overruled.
You can answer.
Yeah, I wouldn't say perfectly. I wouldn't use that word. The other thing I'd say, I wouldn't put too much stock in this whole thing. This is information that we have from the research that there is. It's not great research. So again, I wouldn't put too much stock in it. But yes, the fact that she would seem to have some awareness of what had gone on, some post-traumatic symptoms associated with it would make her amnesia a little more patchy.
Okay. And so having that patchy memory would fall in line with someone who is genuinely experiencing dissociative amnesia.
Yes, again, this is not proof. This is not proof that she experienced dissociative amnesia, but it would be a factor, weighing in that direction.
And Dr. Clark, when we saw the body camera footage today, when Carly and Deputy Shack arrived back at Carly's house, were there already law enforcement videos and an ambulance there?
I actually couldn't see the video itself from where I was sitting, so I'm not sure.
And you know, if that is what the video portrayed, you know, how likely would it be, or would it be logical for someone to believe something has happened?
I think it would be very logical for someone to think that something had happened. Yes.
Begging the court's indulgence. No further questions, Your Honor. We tender the witness.
All right, you may stand down. Defense may call its next witness.
Your Honor, the defense rests this time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, jury, I need a hot second, okay? If y'all just give me 5 minutes. If anybody needs a restroom, now would be a good time, okay? Record will reflect or outside the presence of the jury does the defendant re-urge motion.
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
All right, any further basis you wish the court to consider?
No further basis.
Does the state re-urge, does the state argue the same response as before?
Yes, sir, with additional information that's good for
Feel
the.
free to put it. Okay. Any further argument?
No, sir.
All right. Court will overrule the motion for directed verdict for the record. All right. Does the state have we all had a telephone call about a week and a half ago. You had a witness with a scheduling problem, is that correct?
That's correct, Your
Still have a scheduling problem
Honor. That's correct, Your Honor, for Friday.
for Friday.
Mhm.
So I can recess. I mean, it's 4:47. What I'm saying is I can recess for the night. I should recess for the night. But if you have a witness problem, it's Wednesday night. Folks go to church. If you have a witness problem, we spend about an hour taking care of something else. I'll let you call the witness now. But if we don't have a witness problem, I want to rest. I want to be done for the night.
Your Honor, can I make sure we have 2 witnesses upstairs that are pretty short? Can I just make sure that they can both do that tomorrow?
Yep.
Y'all mind checking on that, let us know.
And for those going to check it, it's not a convenience issue. It's an availability issue.
Yes.
Okay?
And Dr. Pickett's in the courtroom, he is available tomorrow.
Your Honor, can we approach real quick?
Sure. While they're doing that, I want to look ahead to jury instructions. I got S1 through S7, and I got D1 through D6. Is that what we have? Is that correct?
That sounds right, John.
Okay. And y'all both exchanged sentencing instructions, correct?
Yes, sir, we filed our sentencing.
No, I'm not putting the cart before the horse, but just make sure they were exchanged.
We may have an additional jury instruction.
Get it filed sooner rather than later.
What time do we get started, Jared? If they have appointments already scheduled, back up for their council, they'll be available, or just tell them what time to get started.
Yeah, let's get started around 8. I'm gonna have the jury here at 8:45. All right, I'm gonna bring the jury back in. I'll tell them to be here at 8:45 tomorrow. Give them my instruction. Anything further from the state before I bring in the jury?
Yes, sir.
From the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, bring them in. For planning purposes, how many do you have tomorrow, roughly?
I'm sorry.
For planning purposes, how many do you have tomorrow?
3 should actually be pretty quick, and then one of those 3 is an expert, and the last one is an expert.
All right, will the state have any witnesses in rebuttal?
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we're at a point in the evening where we need a break for the night. Okay, it's 7 minutes till 5, and I don't want to go late tonight and then have to bring y'all back tomorrow too. Okay, for planning purposes, kind of bear in mind if the case goes to y'all for some reason tomorrow, we can't disband till we have a verdict. So if you got child care issues, something like that, call your mama, call your grandma, call somebody. Let's get that taken care of for tomorrow. Okay. I'm just trying to put y'all on notice as much as possible. Remember the court's admonition: do not talk about this case. Do not allow yourself to be exposed to any outside media. And please don't go look at any social media or do any independent research. Does everyone understand that? All right, I'm going to ask y'all to be back in the jury room tomorrow morning at 8:45. All right, with that, we'll be in recess for the evening, and everyone remain seated while the jury exits. Sure. That's all right. That's all right. Take your time.
Question is, need to like tell my boss, my wife, we'll be home tomorrow whenever we get home. Is that what you just said?
Tell your wife you don't know what time you'll be home tomorrow, and you don't know what time you'll be home Friday. How's that? But you can tell her you'll be home for the weekend. How's that? Yes. Yes. No. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir. That's it. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, the record will reflect we're outside the presence of the jury. I'd encourage both sides, if y'all have any evidence state that you intend to offer through your experts tomorrow, if y'all could at least produce the exhibits tonight. I mean, I understand you produced them in discovery, but let's go on ahead and make sure we go through them so we don't have any time lag tomorrow, okay?
No, I think everything that I think we'll be talking about the medical records and the journals and sketchbooks are already in.
All right.
We might use the television at some point.
All right, anything further from the state before we close for tonight? From the defense?
Mayor,
All right, best of luck. Y'all have a good night.
8:30.
Yeah, lawyers 8:30.
And there concludes today's trial. So it will take back up tomorrow morning. The defense did rest, and so I believe they're going to have some other expert witnesses come on the stand tomorrow morning. I kind of missed that a little bit. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know that we will be back here tomorrow morning at 8:45 to watch the continuing coverage of the Carly Gregg trial. Judge did address the jurors and say that if the trial goes to you tomorrow, we will stay here until it is done. So if you got childcare or anything like that, you need to go ahead and make sure you have that lined up for after 5 or for whatever it is that you need. So if it goes to the jury tomorrow, it will finish with the jury tomorrow. So we will be back here tomorrow morning bright and early at, was it early? I don't know. I used to have to get up at 2:30 in the morning for work. 8 o'clock still seems like it's late in the day. But we will be back here tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, 8:30 rather, to continue the coverage of the Carly Gregg trial, find out what happens tomorrow, and we'll get all of that information and get it going for you guys again tomorrow. I apologize that the live stream cut out for a couple of seconds. We had a little bit of a power glitch here. I was trying my best to hurry up and get it back on for you guys. So tomorrow I will make sure that does not happen. So join us tomorrow morning, 8:30. Court should start about 8:45, and we'll be here then. You guys have a great evening. Thank you so much for tuning in.